Hi, and welcome to Caring for the Ministry Leader's Soul from Moody Bible Distance Learning. This is your fearless leader, Professor Jefferson, and I want to welcome you to week 3. I hope week 2 is very fruitful for you. Those 10 questions from Whitney always challenge and encourage and hit me right between the eyes. They do. They're good for us to ask questions like that. They're good for you to take away on a retreat or out in the woods, or just take one or two and just concentrate on that, and then not to try to take all 10 and say, here's my goals for all 10, but ask God just one. Well, what's the one you want me to focus on? And just focus in on one. And remember, it's not about trying harder, right? We all know that, right? We're Moody students. We know that, right? It's not about trying harder, but about simply trusting the Holy Spirit to work in you. And so I pray that you would give yourself some grace. Sanctification is a marathon, not a sprint, right? And so we talked about those things this last week. And this week we're going to talk about some of the barriers to your spiritual growth. We all have them. We all know them. There are weaknesses, right? Resentment, anger, stress, lust, confusion, unforgiveness. And the list could go on and on and on, and it's very specific to you. What is it that you feel is keeping you from growing like you want to grow spiritually? And I want to challenge you, because it's so easy in American churchianity to pretend that you're better than you are, or pretend that you're okay when you're not. My gosh, you're a Moody student. Of course you're happy. Of course you don't have any unforgiveness. Of course you don't lust. Yeah, right. So, let's be real. We all have barriers to our spiritual growth. The only way to get through those barriers are to identify them honestly and then say, God, I just can't do this on my own. And that it's a crock pot, right? It takes time. Sanctification takes time for you to work through that. And so I want to encourage you, as you're doing that paper, I'm the only one reading it. And I can tell you that I love you. You are one of my, you're a sheep. I'm a shepherd and you're a sheep. I have been through 25 years of ministry. It's very dangerous to say I've heard it all. I've heard almost all, and I'm not shocked by anything. So I would really like you to be raw and real in this paper. What are the barriers that are keeping you from being the Jesus follower that you want to be? Okay? And then for your discussion board, you're going to be talking about idols. You're going to watch a video by Tim Keller, one of my favorites, and talk about idols. And an idol is something that you trust for significance or security other than Jesus. So what is your idol? We all have them. We do. Where are you tempted? And what are you going to do about it? What can you do about it? So let's talk about that as well. Okay, it is Reformation Day. I don't really do Halloween, never have, but it's Reformation Day. So 500 years ago, Martin Luther nailed the 95 Thesis on the door and kind of made a stand. Here I stand for the gospel. So with everything that's going on in the world right now, and it seems like it's going crazy, right? Politically, you got Puerto Rico, you got North Korea, you got Kenya, you got wildfires, you got crazy stuff, right? Is the gospel still real? Is the gospel still the power of God unto salvation? Power, dunamis, dynamite? Is it still powerful? What I want to do is I want to give you a story to encourage you. And I'm going to try to make it brief, but I want you to really pay attention. We have a woman at our church named Nikki. Nikki has a heart for people in the sex industry. Nikki got together some women. They made a basket. They made Mother's Day basket for strippers. And they went to the strip club. There's a couple in our town. They went to the strip club, and they asked the manager, can we give the girls these baskets? And he's like, I don't care. So he took them back there, and they had all kinds of stuff, for women in there. But they had a couple of CDs of sermons and Nikki's card. And she told him, if you ever need me, call me. A couple of weeks later, she gets a call from one of the girls, one of the women. And she said, could I have some more sermons? Well, it turns out she listened to her 2 sermons. She went to everybody else all the other strippers and got their sermons out of their baskets and listened to them all and was asking for some more. Okay, my hair is standing up on my arms already. Nikki says, instead of that, why don't you just come to church with me? Well, okay. Strippers don't go to church. Okay, those two things don't go together. Nikki said, number one, you don't know our church. Number two, you obviously don't understand Jesus. Long story short, she does come to church with Nikki. She gets saved, radically saved. She goes back and invites the entire place to come to see her getting baptized. So no one knew it, but we had an entire row of strippers for a baptism service. Rock on. And how do I know this story? Because the manager was her boyfriend. He got saved. They got married, and they were being commissioned about a month ago in my church. They're starting a ministry to reach women in the sex industry. Are you kidding me? That is the power of the gospel. Okay? It hasn't waned. It hasn't weakened. It is still dunamis. It is still dynamite power, and it still changes lives. Okay? Even with the ridiculousness of the church, which we could all be cynical about, even with Christians acting badly, which we've all seen a lot of examples of that, the gospel still changes lives. Don't you forget it. Okay, that's into my little sermon. The question of the week is, tell me another story. Keep it going. Email me and tell me a story that you know, that you've seen, where the gospel has powerfully changed somebody. And it could be you. All right? Any questions? Any prayer requests? Let me know.